Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. On this occasion, I want to present my research result about the role of medical schools in handling the outbreaks in the Dutch East India. The current pandemic is not the first one for Indonesia since the time this country was still under the Dutch colonial government and named the Dutch East Indies. According to the historical data, towards the end of 1848, the smallpox outbreak spread throughout the Java region, particularly in the Java Sea coastal cities, due to dirty air from the swamp along the coast. As the dry season came, the swamp began to give off a full odor that carried the disease. Governor General Rochusen summoned the head of the military health service, Dr. Bosch, to discuss how to deal with this outbreak. Referring to this case, the Dutch colonial government planned to recruit indigenous workers to be trained as vaccination officers. The government had this idea as it was difficult to bring in medical personnel from the Netherlands at a limited cost. The Governor General supposed to establish an indigenous medical school that served as an independent formal school separated from the existing military institution in the Dutch East Indies. The Governor General finally issued Decree number 2 dated January 2nd in 1849 concerning the establishment of the Sekolah Dokter Jawa or School for Javanese Doctors, which organized education for the indigenous student. There was a fundamental change in 1899. That is the need for a building separated from the military hospital in Weltevreden. This is necessary given that the number of students at that time reached 150 students. The military hospital was no longer sufficient to accommodate that many. Therefore, the government permitted the construction of a new building that can accommodate 200 students, equipped with a dormitory. The construction cost 178 million gulden, donated by three Delhi entrepreneurs, namely P.W. Jansen, G. Ninhuis, and H.C. van den Honert. Of the century, outbreaks occurred in several major cities in Java. The disease outbreak by the turn of the year was a stomach disease such as cholera and dysentry, fever, chickenpox, and many deaths of babies or mothers due to the childbirth. Thus, changes to curriculum were made in 1899. Preparatory classes were held again for 3 years, and for medical classes, the study period increased to 6 years. The student did a lot of practice in the clinic, both eyes and midwifery clinics. When Inlandse Geneeskundige School moved its classroom, its name was changed to School of Opleiding for Inlandse Artsen, or better known as Stovia. As a consequence, the name change also had an impact on the change in the curriculum for this medical school. The prospective student not only came from Java, but from all regions in the Dutch East India. Before moving to Salemba in November 1990, Stovia underwent reorganization and name changes. Stovia, which originally stood for School tot Opleiding for Inusharts and changed its name to School tot Opleiding for Inusharts in 1913. This means that all people of India had the right to enter the medical school, including women from all regions of the Dutch East India. The most important of this history of Stovia students was their participations to overcome the Spanish flu pandemic in Dutch East Indies. They were spread to all parts of the region to educate the traditional societies as follows: prohibited to spit in the public space, prohibited to sneeze in the public room, to appeal the patient to isolate themselves, to open all the doors and windows all day long to guarantee the clean air flows, to enforce the member of the society to follow the healthy protocols as always use masker 4 layers, to clean up all of the bodies after leaving their house, to avoid the crowd, to obey the government rules as stated in influential ordonancy, rules issued by the government, to educate the public health life. As an activity of the society engagement, they participated in nursing the patient in hospitals and clinics. Okay, that's all activities of the student of Stovia during the outbreak of Spanish flu pandemic in Dutch East India. To avoid the spread of the virus, they had to go to all over the region of Dutch East Indies to vaccinate the people, as in Kupang, Surabaya, Yogyakarta, Ambon, Medan, and other cities. As one of their activities of society engagement, they participated in all medical activities and in nursing the patient in hospital and clinics. Okay, thank you.